Hi there, and welcome back to the Founder's Journey series. Today, I want to talk to you about don't start thinking global. Recently, I saw an advert of somebody who was going to be speaking to a group of new entrepreneurs, and it was talking about the advert read at the top, stop thinking small, start thinking globally from the beginning. I'm like, hmm. You know what? A few years ago, I would have rushed to that kind of event and I would have been so excited and I would learn so much. But then when I come out, I realized that I could not implement. And you're going to discover why. That is my reason for saying don't start thinking globally. When you study the lives of entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey, you would discover that they actually didn't start thinking globally. They just thought about solving the problems that was before them at the time. Now, that is different from thinking small, and that is different from not having a vision. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not saying that you will never go global. But in the beginning, thinking globally can actually be a hindrance rather than a good thing. So let's go into it. Think global. But if you haven't chosen a business that you want to run, how are you going to think global? If you haven't found customers who are interested in buying your product, well, how are you going to be thinking global? If no one has paid you for a product, how do you even know how to think global? You probably don't. But it may sound all exciting. You're trying to solve tomorrow's problem today. That's what's happening. You're thinking about what may occur. You're thinking global, you're thinking stuff. You haven't even chosen a business. You haven't generated any sales. You're thinking, oh, I might want to leave a legacy. That's good. You should leave a legacy, but you've not transitioned to that stage where you should be consumed with thinking globally and or with thinking about having a legacy. Now, when today's problem is still awaiting you, what you want to do first is to solve the stage problem that you are faced today. Again, we're not saying don't have a vision. We're not saying don't have a big vision. We're not saying don't think big. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying solve today's problem. Stop trying to solve tomorrow's problem. What do you need to do then? All right, if you are at the explorer stage, because let me back up a bit and say that what we've discovered in the founder's journey from research is that founders go through 5 stages. The first stage is the explorer stage. The second is the builder stage. The third is the operator stage. The fourth stage is the growth stage. And the fifth stage is the visionary stage. So what you need to do is, if you are at the explorer stage, your issue is really to choose the right business that you should be working on. You're trying to find what we call the founder product market fit, where your experience, your expertise, your knowledge, your interest fits with a problem that you want to solve that people are willing to pay for. If you're in the builder stage, you want to make sure that you get your first paying customers, and also you want to decide whether this business is good enough for you to earn a living from it. Those are the problems you want to solve. If you are at the operator stage, you want to make sure that you're generating sales consistently and that not every part of the operation depends on you. If you're at the growth stage, you're trying to leverage the trust that has been developed at the operator stage across many markets and across many products, and you're managing teams of people. If you're at the visionary stage, well, you're trying to create something which is bigger than yourself. That's where the global thing comes in. But it's at the final stage of your founder's journey, not at the beginning. Now, if somebody says, I just want to replace my existing salary by running a business that generates me enough money to cover my salary, that's a good thing. That's progress. Maybe that's where you are at. That's a good thing. Don't look down on it and say, oh, well, that's not thinking global, so that's going to be wrong. No, that's correct. That's right for your stage. If all you want to do right now is to replace your employment with income from a business, that's gotta be good. If you just want to pay your bills, you want to leave your job and build something from there, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean that you're not thinking globally, or that doesn't mean that you don't have any ambition, because your first ambition is not your final ambition. That's the point I want to make to you. Your first ambition, the ambition of, I want to leave my job. Okay, so today I was, let me just tell you this. Today I was at college because I lecture at a college in London, and we're starting a new business club for students. And I went around today and was giving out flyers to the teachers who needed to give it to the students. And the teachers were saying to me, well, I want to start a business. Can I come? And I'm like, wow, okay. That was really funny because they were supposed to give it to the students, not them. And I'm like, okay, well, if you come along and be my assistant, probably you can segue your way into the class then and you can learn how to start a business. But that's their first ambition. Their ambition is, I just want to have a business. I want to quit my day job and have a business. That's a good ambition. And that is not their final ambition. They get in there, they start working on that, and they start thinking differently as they grow. So your first ambition isn't your final ambition. You can start with, all I want to do is earn £1,000 a month extra, or all I want to do is earn £3,000 a month extra. That doesn't mean that you're going to stay there forever and ever. That doesn't mean that you will never earn £1,000,000 a month. No. But that is just your first ambition, and that's okay. Yeah, you got to have a big vision, but you must solve today's constraints. If you don't solve today's problem and you have a big vision and you're just chasing the big vision, how's that going to happen? You want to build today's capabilities, because it's the capabilities you build today that's going to help you and inspire you to build your big vision. But if you're not even, let's say the capabilities today evolves around you developing your confidence, being able to make cold calls, or maybe it's about something to do with marketing, something to do with talking to customers on a daily basis, something to do with creating certain patterns that's going to enable you to grow in your ability to lead others. Maybe that's your constraints today, and that's the capabilities you need to build. If you don't build that, how are you going to manage teams of people? So you want to reach today's milestones first before you work on tomorrow. So founders don't suddenly arrive. They actually evolve stage by stage. We've been talking about the 5 stages: the explorer stage, the builder stage, the operator stage, the growth founder stage, and the visionary stage. These are the stages that you go through, and you're also building capabilities one after the other that'll help you to transition to those stages. So you got to solve today's problem first. You got to get over today's constraints first, and then you begin to build for tomorrow. So don't build 10 years. Don't try to build a 10-year business today. Build the business you're capable of building at the stage where you are. That will enable you to actually evolve. So if you want to stop guessing about what to focus on today, and you want to just know exactly what you need to be doing, then you need to take this free Founders Journey Assessment. It will help you to discover the stage that you are. It'll help you to also know the biggest constraints that you need to solve, and it'll tell you what you need to do to get to the next level. To access it, all you need to do is to scan this QR code and it'll get you there. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.